All right, everybody, another day. As you can see, if you've watched our last videos, that ramp's still there. So I'll tell you what we were working on same day as this. This is gonna be a two-part job. So step one is we gotta figure out what part we need. So the problem I got with this thing, well, we got, because my son's gonna be driving it, and he'll be the one sweating like a OnlyFans model in church, but the AC is not blowing cold. I thought maybe it leaked out the refrigerant, but it didn't. It still had refrigerant. The other problem is, as you can see down here, that Drier condenser thing down there, whatever it's called, is pretty original looking. So we got to replace that, but in order to do that, I had to get to it. So step one is you've got this plastic panel right here, which slides down in there like that. I'm not going to cram it back in because it was a little bit of a pain to get it out. Or actually, it goes in that way. It goes in like that. So you got those little holes up there, and there's some holes right there that some little push tab things go into, and then this bottom little doohickey right there clips in a hole down at the bottom. So anyway, had to get that out just for orientation. Passenger strut tower on this particular year model. There's your washer fluid deal, and then right down here is where that dryer is. So I've read that if you have your AC compressor and clutch and all that stuff's coming on like it's supposed to, you've got refrigerant in the system. R134 is what we're putting in it. That compressor is supposed to only be about 5 years old, so theoretically it's rated for R134, but we don't really know. Anyway, I had to get in here and look at this because when I got online, there's two different dryers. So I needed to figure out which one we had, so I knew which one of those two to order, so I didn't have to do anything crazy or, you know, get a part and return it and then order the other one and all that stuff. So step one is to get down here and look and see which one we got. So now that I can see what we got, I'll go ahead and get back on the computer and order that part, and then once it gets in, we'll swap that out, and hopefully that'll help us with getting cool air. Because when we first put the refrigerant back in it, because it was empty, clutch wasn't coming on, none of that stuff, but we put refrigerant in right here and got good pressure, and we actually had cold air for just a little bit. It was really kind of, you know, pretty cold when we first did it, and then it just got worse and worse and worse as we used it. Thought it leaked out, but that's not what happened. So what I've heard, I'm no AC tech, but what I've found is it's either that thing, which that one looks pretty freaking old, not doing what it's supposed to do, or it's the condenser, which is back here behind the radiator. If you can see that line going, this line right here, that goes back behind the radiator, and that's where the condenser coil thing is. So anyway, we're going to replace the dryer and go from there. Okay, so like I said, we were going to figure out what we needed and then order the part. So here's the part. This was from FCP Euro. There's your part numbers and stuff. See all that? But anyway, there's the new part. You can see there's a few different places where there's connections for different things on both sides, where there's bolts in there right now. But we're gonna have to remove some sensors and things and put them on this new one once we get the old one out. So we're gonna go get the old one out. Okay, so there's the old one. So you can see those two sensors, the green one and then the one on the right hand side where the wire goes to it. We're gonna have to take those off the old one and put them on the new one. But for right now, we're gonna go ahead and try to bust these lines loose and then get this old one out of here. Okay, so those are 19 millimeter connections on ours. We went ahead and busted both of them loose. Now we're just working on backing them off for the line on that side and then the line on the opposite side. And then we'll disconnect the two sensors. You can see the green one disconnects right there at that white connection, and then the other one actually disconnects on the sensor itself. There's just a couple of little pressure fittings. So anyway, we'll do all that, get this thing out, show you when we got it out on the bench. Okay, success. got the thing out. So here you go. You can see that connection there that goes to the green sensor. I found that online. You can definitely buy that whole assembly pretty easy. Here's this sensor. You can see the two different connections right there, and they just have those little pressure clip things that go on. So that's that. So now what we got to do is take that green sensor and that black sensor right there, move them over to that puppy, and then go put it back in. So hopefully things continue to keep working out all right for us. I don't really know why this thing is here. Like I said, we're not AC techs. And the new one has a little cap and everything right there. So I think what we're gonna do is just leave that cap on the new one, leave this thing on here, or maybe just take it off and keep it. See if we need to use it later or not. But we're not gonna move that over. Anyway, we're gonna get to working on that and show you when we're done with that. All right, here we go. Here's a new one. So we switched that out. New O-ring on that. Yeah, he turned the fan off. That's to keep the mosquitoes away from us and stuff. But anyway, we got all this done. This green one was a kind of a chore to get in. It's just really tight going in there, but we got it in. It's tight with a new O-ring. So this sucker's all good to go. So now we're just gonna go make sure we got good O-rings in the lines, take these black caps off of both ends, and put this thing back in.
You come do this, because
Okay, what's up?
I think this bolt might be cross-threading.
Okay.
Or nut.
Yeah, I'll come work on it. Anyway, we're to the point of trying to hook these lines back up. So
I don't know if it's just getting tight or not.
okay, let me come check it. All right, guys. So we made sure we didn't cross-thread anything. So he just had me go check it. Double check. I did put a little bit of oil on the threads of the soft line he's doing right now. Some synthetic motor oil just to get a little bit of lube. But what we're gonna do next is put the two anchor bolts in here in just a second, as soon as it starts to get a little bit tough, and then that way we'll have those to kind of use to help stabilize the dryer to tighten it up. But we'll go ahead and do that, get it all tightened up, and then we'll start working on charging it. Okay, everybody, there it is, all back in, tighten up all the lines, reconnected the sensor, that one there, there's two prongs, everything's good. So now we're going to start charging the system and see if we got cold air. Okay, so I hooked in to the low pressure side and just went ahead and went to filled before we started the car just to get some in there. And now, sorry, bug in my face. Now we're going to crank the car and turn the compressor on and then run it to filled with all of that going. So, push the button. But also lost all my pressure. So we're going to go ahead and run this, and hopefully the clutch will kick in on the compressor here shortly. We'll be all set. That's what we're doing. We're just going to make sure that clutch kicks in at some point. Okay, everybody. So you can see down there the clutch engaged, so it's got enough pressure for that to happen. You can see where we're at right now with it running. So I know I've heard if it's in the green, it's good. You don't have to go all the way to the top, but I've also heard that these things may not be the most accurate. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get it at least to the 2/3 of the filled green area there, if we can. We also have this leak tester here. I use that and put it down here, and I test it all around those connections. It didn't get any leaks. So see, this is going up some. So when I pull the trigger, it drops down like that. So I'm going to go ahead and keep filling it, see if we can get it to about 2/3 of the green, and see if we get cold air inside. Okay, gang, here we are. Pretty much at the top. Tested out for leaks. Clutch is spinning, and from what we can tell, running in there, cool off some. So we think it's working. I mean, it's not spectacular. You're not going to get frostbite, but it's definitely colder than it was before. It's holding that pressure. Everything looks good. No leaks detected. So that's it. So now my son does not have to sweat like an OnlyFans model in church. So there we go. I mean, if we were professional AC folks, it might be better, but we're doing this with a squirt can and the driveway and not knowing really what we're doing, I think we've done pretty good. So it's cooler, it's done. We're gonna say AC fixed thanks to the new dryer.